Straight politicking on all you suckers out there. And I'm here with my co-host, Munchie B, the mayor. And I got a special guest co-host this week. He is the co-founder of Second Call. He is a community activist right out of the West Adams, Washington Heights area of Los Angeles. And with no further ado, let me introduce Skipp Townsend. How's it going?
What's going on, man? All is well. All is truly well, brother. I'm alive and well, not dead or in jail.
Yeah, man, and you're always on the positive tip, man. These last, I don't know, over a decade, really. Probably, 15 years?
I think since 2004.
Wow.
I did a violation in 2004.
Uh-huh.
And I ain't know I was an interventionist, but I was, man, we ain't moving the bunks. We ain't doing that. We gonna eat together because I was getting ready for the big war. So
What big war? 2004.
Yeah, big war.
Yeah.
They rush us, man. It's about 10 or 12 of us in a 100-man dorm.
You talking about the L.A. County Jail.
L.A. County Jail. I did a violation, so I was like, nah, y'all not going to the blue wall. We ain't moving no bunks. We gonna figure this out because the war is gonna happen, and it happened about 3-4 times while I was in there.
Oh, man. So, damn, that was 20 years then.
Yeah, I was released, actually. Last time I was in jail was 20 years. It was January 21st, 2005, so I've been home ever since.
And I think this youngster right here might have been making his first trips to the county jail around, 2005, 6, Munchie?
No,
yeah.
2008.
2008, okay.
Yeah.
So
Munchie was at that school where Jonas Salk, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Munchie was at the school back when I was working with Babolouie, Big Shiphead, all them, American, Unity 1.
So you hooked up with Bo and all them and Jim Brown after 04?
Yeah, it was 05.
Oh, okay. So that means Rocky was in the game doing this stuff before you was.
Oh, way before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We I did a march with Rocky in '96 with Bo Taylor and Mustafa, aka Little Cat.
Oh,
Isn't that what's Little Cat's other name? Was it Mustafa?
I don't know. Mustafa was Fats from Swan.
Yeah, him. I remember him, but
I don't know Lil Cat.
Okay, I think Lil Cat had another name. But I met Lil Cat and Bo together.
Yeah.
Did a march.
Yeah, they had Rise. They
had Rise.
Yeah.
Although here's what I used to say when I used to see Bo Taylor say this, I'm like, bro, you wasn't Unity 1 in '92.
Right.
You was Rise.
Yeah.
But then it changed to Unity 1 either 98, 99, 2000.
I think 97 from
Okay. But he takes Unity 1 all the way back and I'm like, nah, I was there, bro. You was Rise.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to trip off of they had that book, the American book, and they seemed like they remembered everything from cover to cover.
Yes.
Lonely, Big Ship, Sleep.
Yeah, Sleep had it good. Sleep actually inspired me because we was in San Francisco and Jim Brown asked him to speak on the book. And without the book in front of him, he went chapter by chapter, what the chapter name was, what it was about. Man, it was our last day in Frisco. They all went out to clubbing and smoking weed and drinking. I went back to the hotel room and studied that book from cover to cover.
Yeah, he run it off like verbatim. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sleep from Schoolyard, right?
Yep.
Sleepy Lee.
Yeah.
That's Snap's brother.
Yeah, I know Sleep. And then you mentioned, did you mention Looney?
I mentioned Looney, Ronnie Barron.
Man, do you know I met Looney when I first moved to L.A., maybe a couple years after when I was about 12 years old. John Burroughs.
Okay.
John Burroughs Junior High. He was up there. He was in Mansfield hanging out.
Yeah.
They were hustlers, though. Yeah. Remember, we had a disagreement on when they turned Crip, but they were definitely hustlers when I met Ronnie Barron.
Well, when they what's his name? D-Mac. D-Mac lived down the street.
You talking about another boy.
Darius
Rogers.
Yeah, so Darius, Earl Bonareese, and Ronnie Barron used to walk down Washington coming home. And when they get to Arlington, they would get jumped. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to stop that. So I called over on Arlington. I called to the house on Arlington where everybody hang out at.
Yeah.
And
where I met you at, actually, huh?
No, I met you at Rocky House. You were sitting on the porch.
I thought, it wasn't the Arlington house. It was on 22nd?
I met you on 22nd because I had seen some things in the community, and I wondered, who is this?
Okay, all right. So you're helping Ronnie and them not get jumped no more.
But Ronnie didn't want it.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie didn't want it. He said, I want my fades. I'm like, man, knock it off. Yeah, that's when he was little Ronnie.
Okay. All right, man. I want to make a few fact checks from last week. When we talked about that L.A. County Sheriff cop that was, he just got found guilty of beating up that black couple out in Lancaster. Did you ever see that video from 2023?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I said it was a Costco, I think, but it was actually a store called Winco.
Yeah, I know Winco.
Okay, I've never been to a Winco.
Yeah, they got one in Pomona too.
They got one out here in Long Beach.
Okay, so that was in Lancaster, and for all my geographers out there, that's on the very, very north side of Los Angeles County. I would say it takes about an hour and 25 minutes to get there from where we're at right now, which is crazy because you drive an hour and a half and you're still in the same county.
Right.
LA County, going up north. What else did I make a mistake on last week?
Did he get sentenced yet?
No, remember the sentencing for that LA County sheriff? His name is Trevor Kirk, by the way. That will be next month.
Okay.
And he's looking at 10 years, but we know he ain't. That deputy ain't getting 10 years for slamming the woman that was recording. She was just recording him. Slammed her. Mm-hmm. A good thing somebody else is recording.
Right.
Because I don't think these would ever be cases without video.
Right.
You can't just go to the police station.
They don't have body cam? Sure.
Yeah, they did have body cam. So it was some of the body cam footage, too. I thought I had another fact check, but I might have forgot what it was. But, yeah, Winco is a store that I am not familiar with. How come I'm not tapped in with Winco?
It ain't that many of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ain't that many of them, but me and my baby mama used to go because it's a 24-hour one, and we go like when the store empty and you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Oh, the other fact check was last week I said, well, Serena Williams was crip walking on the thing, and I made it sound like she was just happened to be there, and she just did her thing randomly. And ODM was like, no, she was probably part of the thing. But not later found out Kendrick reached out to Serena and deliberately wanted her to be there for that. So that was all pre-planned.
Yeah.
I just thought she was there, and then she started doing it because she did that.
She wouldn't have been able to get out down there on the field.
Yeah.
Even though she is a celebrity, you know, these celebrities.
But she did it at Wimbledon randomly after she won. So I just thought she was there, and she did it randomly again. But no, that was all planned.
Yeah, because you know he dropped a line with her name in the song.
That's right.
So you know,
yeah. So all right, I made a mistake on that. I really thought she was just down there and said, "Let me do my thing." All right, man. I've been hearing these people say these two words, Skipp and Munch, for the last several months, going back to probably a year. They're confusing implementing with implicating. They want to say implicating, like you implicated me in that murder.
Right.
That means you put me at the scene of the crime.
Right.
But people are using the word implement instead of implicate.
Right.
And I just wanted to first, have you guys picked up on that?
I haven't heard.
I did recently because Nina Boy been going hard on that implicate.
Yeah. He's talking about the recent situation.
Right.
Okay.
Is he saying implicate or implement?
He's saying implement. He means to say implicate. Yeah. So in that situation, he's like, bro, I never implemented you in that crime. What he means to say is I never implicated. But Nina Boy is not the only one that's been saying it. I can't remember anyone else, but it's been at least 3 or 4 people. I think one person said it, and then the next person copies.
Right.
Because they know what he's talking about.
Right.
So I just want to hopefully end that saying implementing for implicating.
How do you end that, man? That's a I want to say 3rd grade, but that's more like a 7th or 8th grade thing, man. How do you stop that? Because I know a lot of people that use the wrong words at the wrong time, and you know. So I mean,
I used to get mad at hearing people say, "Oh, I was just conversating."
Right, and it's really conversing.
It's conversing.
Yeah.
But do you know that the international authorities on the English language, they decided to add that in maybe 2 years ago. So it's a word.
So conversate is a word.
You can say conversate.
Yeah, so we're going to sit here and conversate the 3 of us.
Yeah, but conversing is the right word. I'm like, bro, it's conversing. I don't know. That just used to get me wrong. Can you think of any other words that we always messing up?
I shared with y'all, one of the homies told me he was going to get convicted because the lady who owned the building wanted him to leave. And I said, homie, you not going to get convicted for that.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, she already gave me the paperwork.
Yeah, he sounded like he just finished taking a deal on a case or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, y'all. It's implicating when you're talking about putting someone at the scene of some sort of incriminating incident. It's implicating. It's not implementing.
So if you give me an assignment, you say, Skipp, I need you to do this and do that, and I go out and start this, I'm implementing everything we talked about.
That's different.
That's implementing.
Yeah, that's different. The way that people are using the word is to talk about self-incrimination or just being or being incriminated by someone else.
Right.
It's not implementing.
No, that's implication.
It's implicating.
Yeah.
So I hope I never get implicated in anything because I'm pretty much on the straight and narrow and have been so for many, many years. But hey, if someone lies and implicates me in something, I will defend myself because no one should be implicating me in anything other than just working hard and taking care of my family.
Black men don't cheat.
If you keep implementing everything you're doing, you'll never be implicated.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
I cut Munchie off. Go ahead, Munchie.
Wait. I just want to say that's the first time someone's used both the words in the same sentence. Okay, go ahead, Munch.
No, I was going to say, no, I said black men don't do crime. Black men don't cheat. So we ain't going to get implicated. It's all good.
All right. Rest in peace, A.C. Moses, King Bobalouie. I have his book right over there on the shelf.
What it's called? Starting lineup, right?
Starting lineup. And he's got the first generation Pyrus on the cover. And it's crazy that he's a first generation Pyru, but he also spent several months with the first generation Crips prior to moving down there in Compton. And I think that he's probably one of the few, maybe the only person that could say I was a first generation Crip and a first generation Pyru.
Hey, and that's where they get it confused. They say Power Rules used to be Crips, and that's where people get it confused. You hear that before?
I have heard that before. I talked to Babolouie about that when we did the interview back in 2017, and I don't think they may have been. There was an alliance between what's the dude name from Compton, the first Compton Crip dude down there, Mac Thomas. Mac Thomas didn't like the Pyrus. Raymond was cool with the Pyrus at one point. But Mac Thomas was able to convince Raymond like the Pyrus ain't for us, and they started a little beef.
So Babolouie told me that they were at a party. So he didn't tell me it was Mac Thomas. He told me it was when Tookie came around. When Tookie came around, once they got with the West Side or whatever, he was saying that they used to say Crip here, and then it'd be little small voices talking about Pyru here. Yeah. And he said at one party, they said, "Hey, y'all got to stop that. Y'all can't do that no more. It's Crip or nothing."
So that just shows they were at the same party together.
Yeah, they were together.
Yeah, they weren't tripping. But I remember in 2015, you had asked me, "Have I ever heard of a guy named King Bobalouie?" And I was like, "No, I'm not really tapped in with King." And you were telling me, "No, he's supposed to be like original OG." And then you said, I asked, "What year was he born?" Is it 56 or 55?
I don't know. I think 55. I don't know.
I think it might be 56. But whatever year you told me, I'm like, well, he would be a little too young. Because Raymond and Tookie and all them and Donald Archie, they're born in 53, 54. But it just turns out he was just the younger kid with all of them. He was 13 with the 16-year-olds.
What's so crazy is everything he told me. You know, I had the opportunity to talk to Lowe, LB, this past week, and China Dog, Marcus Nunn, and even China Dog said at the funeral, he said, you know, a lot of people give Puddin the credit for coming over to Ludus Park and getting them to turn Pyru. And he said it wasn't Puddin, it was Babolouie. So after the funeral, I was talking to the pastor, Pastor Rayford Owens, and I said, man, do you know what they left out in that? And he said, what? I said, man, that he took somebody with him. When he went over there to Ludus Park, he took Lil Vince with him. So the pastor started laughing. I said, man, what's your name? He said, I'm Pastor Rayford Owens. I said, what's Vince's last name? He said, Vincent Owens. So I said, don't let him leave your brother out that history, man, because y'all came out the same house, you know, when Babolouie went over there. So,
yeah, Rayford, that's my mom pastor.
Yeah.
Have you had Rayford on your platform, Skipp?
No, I haven't. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was asking myself the same thing. Why I didn't tap in with him?
I've been knowing him since the 90s.
And have you met his brother, Vince Owens?
Never met Lil Vince, though.
Man, I've been talking to this dude over the email. This dude don't even want to talk on the phone.
Wow.
Over the email for the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years.
Wow.
And he just doesn't want to do no interview. And then one day we were supposed to meet at the IHOP in Compton. Lil Vince, you stood me up.
That was a long time ago. Is that IHOP not even here no more?
Is that right?
Why?
What IHOP you talking about?
Right there at the corner, right by across the street from Wilson Park, right there at what is that? It's Compton and
I ain't no IHOP no more.
What is it?
That's something else.
Man, don't break my heart. I'm an IHOP fanatic, man.
Yeah, Lil Vince stood me up, and I met him through his daughter. His daughter said, "Oh, I need you to tap in with my dad." But I don't know, man. Some Lil Vince, you got my number, you got my email, tap in. But yeah, man, AC Babolouie, man, he wrote a great book. I've read the book like twice. I still got a bunch of copies that are on the website for anyone that's interested in it. And I guess we lost another OG.
Oh, so you said his daughter tapped in, said you should get some done, some content or something done with
With her dad, which is Lil Vince.
Hey, that'd be tight. Okay, Ray Shauna, Lil Vince's daughter, and Lil Mont, which is King Bobalouie's son, if they did like some type of project together, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, the kids of the first generation.
You know what I had though?
What's that?
I had Lamont, which is Cynthia's son, and Puddin's son, and I had Ray Ray at my birthday party in 2019, 2020. Again, I don't know, I think it was before COVID, but I had them together, and I was gonna do something, and I had them on board. So I thought that was gonna be big, but yeah, it's real big. What Munchie just said. If you can get Lil Vince daughter and King Bobalouie's son.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard because a lot of these people live in different states. Lil Vince's daughter is not here in LA, so she tapped in with me from out of state. And then I wanted to get all of Raymond's kids together. But there's one daughter in Texas. So Raymond Washington got 4 kids. And then for a long time, Raymond Jr. was living in Nevada. He's in LA now.
Yeah.
But haven't been able to get all 4 of them in the same room, in the same place at the same time. I don't know if even they've gotten themselves together recently because of...
Is the grandmama still alive? Because I know she was driving, and everybody said, "No, she got to stop driving."
You talking about Violet Samuels, the mom of Raymond?
Yeah.
She just passed.
She just passed.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they was probably together for the funeral, right?
No, because the daughter that lives here in L.A. that's from the East Side, she didn't go.
Oh.
So I think there was only 3 of them there. That's the last time I saw Pretty Boy.
Oh, is that
It
right?
was at Violet Samuels' funeral. And then like a month after, he passed. That was another one, man. That little too young.
Skipp introduced me to Pretty Boy.
How'd you feel about that? Meeting the OG 6-0.
Straight. Straight. We all went out, sat down to eat. You know what I'm saying? It was cool.
That was before you met Ron?
No, I think you were met
Ron first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ron was there too. He
That's
came-
crazy. He meeting all the 6Cs like in a friendly manner now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you hooked him up with Lil AD, right?
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about the past, but do you know who Munchie was?
I know. I already know.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that they embrace him too. I mean, Lil Ron came here and did a whole episode with Munch.
Right.
Oh yeah, everybody like it too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if Pretty Boy was with us right now, he'd pull up.
Oh yeah.
You know, he would pull up. All right, rest in peace to King Bobalouie. You did your thing, and he lived right there off of, I think, was he still living on 84th? I used to go by.
Nah, when his mom died,
That was his mom's house.
that was his mom's
Yeah.
house, and his sister sold the house. He was living over off of, and shout out to Jill, because a lot of people don't recognize that for the last maybe 12 years or maybe even more, he was living with this lady named Jill. And
Wait,
she
last
didn't go-
12?
Yeah.
Because I interviewed him at his mom's house in 2017, so that would have been 8 years ago. He was
with Jill.
No, he was at that house on 84th in 2017.
He was with Jill. Jill was at that house.
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah. They were in the back. Yeah. She was. All right, man. Hey, I wanted to talk about, since we got you here, Skipp, you pretty much are the expert on everything intervention, prevention in our city, in our county. And there's been a lot of misinformation being thrown around there about GRYD. I know you're not with the GRYD currently,
Right.
but you had a short stint with it years ago, right?
So I worked for Community Build, who had a GRYD contract. And then I left and went to Soledad Enrichment, which is St. Michael's on Manchester, right off of Vermont. And I worked with them for 2 years. And that was a starting lineup. It was me, Twin from 40s, Maniac from VN. They both rest in peace now. Big from Neighborhood Block. He rest in peace now. Twin from from
107.
107. Taco from Gardena. We had a hell of a lineup, man, and J Bone from 107, and oh man, I forgot another dude, Quincy. I think he's Cue Ball from 7-4. He rest in peace. Damn near everybody on our squad rest in peace, man.
Was homeboy from Raymond a part of that too? Rest in peace.
Wiz. No,
Wiz.
Wiz didn't work with us. Okay. No, he didn't work with. I mean, but he was always around. Yeah, he rest in peace too.
So that was a GRYD via that organization.
Yeah, Soledad Enrichment.
Okay. Now, have you been keeping up with all the information that a lot of out-of-towners, even some locals, have been saying about the GRYD, about it being working with the police and providing information and basically snitching on other gang members?
Okay, so where has that happened at? Because one of the things, I was part of the Professional Standards Committee that oversaw everything that intervention did with the GRYD. And my expertise was law enforcement interaction. How do you interact with law enforcement? How do you respond to the yellow tape to get information from law enforcement? So it was always a thing that if anybody gives any information to law enforcement, whether it's a rumor or whether it's the truth, they're eligible to be terminated. And we can't make the agency fire them, but what we could do is take the certification back, saying you're not certified to work in Los Angeles. And I never got, I stopped with that probably about 2018 or 19, but I never, in the years that we started from 09 till whatever time I quit, about 10 years, I never got anybody in front of us saying, oh, he's snitching.
Now, you're familiar with what Munchie said on a Clubhouse while he was a little inebriated, because I think you addressed it on your channel, Skipp. You did a video. Can you tell us, Munchie, remind the people what you said, and then let's talk about your reaction to that, Skipp.
I was on that dumbass app I deleted.
Yeah.
It ain't for me. You know what I mean? Then, so I was faded. I was drunk, and I was trying to dumb it down and explain to them, okay, so I'm an ambassador. I got influence from where I'm from, and I get paid to be from IFG. So when I said that
part sounds crazy.
It didn't land well. You feel me? So even though it was like a 3-hour little recording, somebody took a sound bite and put his caption with it, and it did what it did throughout the internet. So it made it seem like I'm a snitch or whatever. But Skipp has spoke man, you have to speak, you know what I'm saying? Man, Munchie my boy, and it meant that way. Explain, you know what I'm saying, how it should have been said instead of how I said it. And, you know what I mean? Yeah, it came out wrong or whatever. So I had to eat that.
Now, you remember your response to that, Skipp?
I don't know. I can't. I remember that I did respond, but I don't remember what I said. I just know that what I said was that Munchie, the way he said it was taken out of context. Because he doesn't get paid to be from IFG. He gets paid to be an influence. Hi, this is Skipp Townsend. Ignorance is at an all-time high. I came on here just to share with y'all that Munchie B going viral for saying some things that he might have said it in the right place of heart, but he's put it in the wrong context. Munchie B is my guy, and I'm going to tell y'all what an ambassador is. You don't get paid because you're from a certain neighborhood. even though people like myself will help you get to become an ambassador because you're an influence, because you can influence that neighborhood to stop the violence, stop the shooting, stop the writing on the walls. So don't nobody get a BlackBerry. Don't nobody have to report nothing to the police. Ain't nothing in the report that the police get. What happens is the city of Los Angeles, not even Inglewood don't believe in intervention or ambassadors. The city of LA want to know how can we reduce the violence, and the city of LA pays ambassadors to use their influence to stop the foolishness. That's it, that's all. You don't have to write a report and give it to the police. You ain't got to meet with a sergeant or none of that type stuff. What happens is, document what it is that you doing. That's what the city will pay for an ambassador. What are you doing? So if a fight broke out, did you sit there and watch it? Did you film it and post it on YouTube? Or did you break it up? Did you tell somebody, hey, look, man, I'm about to call your mama? Or did you tell somebody, hey, man, hold on, man, your brother's coming, man, I'm going to get this shit to stop? How do we stop people from killing each other? How we stop them from fighting? How we stop from all the foolishness that goes on? And sometimes it takes somebody with influence who know people. But the same, I don't want to name names and name drop, but some of the names we just use, so what I did was, when they said you got slots, Skipp, you got slots to have them as ambassadors, I immediately went after the influence. Okay, well, I want Munchie to keep everybody from Inglewood from crossing Florence. Don't go down there right on the walls or shoot nothing. I got it, little AD. Man, can I get you to make sure don't nobody cross Florence, go up there shooting nothing right on the walls? So I get those influences to be ambassadors. And they don't get paid because he from 60s, or he don't get paid because he from family. They get paid to stop stuff. Like, even I'm going to give you a good example. The Jesse Owens Park, little youngsters just hit up Manchester and Crenshaw. Just tore the wall up, right? So what I would want is for the people who work with me, people I can call, man, let's go take it down. So Frog from A-Trade went to take it down. You know what I mean? He's working with the city. He's working. He's an ambassador with the city. He works for the council member, all that. So he's not from Inglewood. They don't get paid to do that. But as a favor, man, take that down, because I don't want the youngsters to look up and these idiots put their name up there. You know what I mean? So, man, take that down. That's what I need from Munchie. And Munchie has done that. When I had people writing on the walls, I can call Munchie and say, man, talk to this dude for me. Or get at him, and the same with AD. So that's what the ambassador does, is stop the foolishness from happening. And they don't have to write a report and send it to the police. All that's asked for in the ambassador is that they say, what did you do today? Oh, I took the writing down off the wall. Man, I talked to Skipp. He was telling me about a youngster. I hollered at the youngster and their family. I took a youngster to get enrolled in school today. Or one of the youngsters went to court and I went and supported him in court. That type of thing. But they're not talking about who got guns, who got drugs, and getting people arrested. That's not ambassador. Those are confidential informants, and they getting way more than an ambassador. The confidential informants, I seen a list come out. They making $80,000 a year. Yeah. The ambassadors is getting, man, what y'all get? Probably, I ain't want to speak on it, but they not getting. They ain't getting half of that. Let me just put it like that. But it's only to respond and stop retaliation, to respond and stop the rumors, respond and stop the foolishness from happening at the schools and in the streets. That's it.
Now, when the example that you gave about the graffiti on the wall and they painted it or cleaned it, does that information get inserted into an app, or is it done paper and pen? How does that information get uploaded?
It's an app.
It's just an app.
It goes in the app. It goes into the app, and the app goes to the city. So a lot of people are absolutely right. We can't stop the city from giving police information. So what I do is I train everybody with me. And what it would be in the app is remove graffiti and where the graffiti was and what wall. Was it one wall, two walls? But like I said, the little boys left their name. That's not getting in the app. I'm not putting it was Dead Eye and Rat. I'm not doing that. I'm just putting the graffiti was there. Even in a fight, when these dudes is fighting, I'm not saying, well, this dude hit that dude, whatever. I'm just saying broke up a fight. I'm generalizing so no one's name is in it, so that when it gets back to the city, they supposed to keep it 100 and it's not supposed to go to the police. So we don't implicate. I'm going to use the word correctly. We don't implicate anyone.
Correctly used.
Yeah. I'm not implicating someone because they wrote on the wall or they hit somebody or whatever.
Now, there's some huge voices on the internet that like to bring up this topic of ambassadors or GRYD and say, they're turning over information to the police. He's snitching. And we'll name one of them, Whack 100. This dude loves to distort and present misinformation.
Yeah, because what got my attention was the BlackBerry. All those years, because Big U was not a computer savvy type dude. You understand what I'm saying? That ain't what he does. So I was asking him, why you got a BlackBerry? You know, he had a regular phone, an Android, an iPhone, whatever it was. So why you got a BlackBerry? And he would always give me an excuse, oh man, this is a backup phone, whatever. I never really heard the phone ring. So when I'm reading the paperwork, that the link he had, I see it says, issue from 77th Street Crash Division, BlackBerry cell phone to correspond with law enforcement. I couldn't eat for a week. Now I'm nervous. So I don't know how I got dude to get online with me. Maybe he heard me run a room on him, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember talking to him. I said, bro, I don't know nothing about what a GRYD is, nothing. I see you broke it down, I'm not questioning it. But what's up with the paperwork? Paperwork come to me, the raw paperwork that he was breaking down. So I'm reading, I'm going through it like 100-something pages. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, because now I'm like, dude is a double agent.
What do you say to people like him and others that are just determined to put the stamp that they're cooperating with law enforcement?
Well, the one thing I say, and I don't want to just say it to Whack because there's been others, so I want to say it to everybody who's been saying that, is that before the GRYD started, there was intervention. They had the community collaborative where, you know, we're all meeting. So as we keep evolving this work, the one thing that we never want to do was to work side by side with the police. We don't have the same objective. The police are looking to make arrests. You know, we don't want any arrests to be made. We don't want nobody dead, but we also don't want them in jail. So I would say to all of them that if you guys weren't there when people before me, some of the names you just named.
Right. The long table.
Yeah. So if they're not there at the meetings, then how can you speak on something? When I was there, and I just shared with you guys that I gravitated to Looney and Bo in 2005 and put both feet in 2006. So none of them were there. And if anybody was there, they could speak to the fact that it was never a BlackBerry given by the police and, you know, all that type of stuff. So I want to put that out there for Whack, but I also want to put it out there because there's so many others that's been saying the same. People who not even in LA, but like you said earlier, the huge voice. Because the voice is so huge, they believe that anything that comes out of it is the truth. I was at the table. I could tell you who's at the table. When we created the Community Engagement Action Committee with Congressman Adam Schiff and Tony Cardenas, there's no police at the table. It's all interventionists from the Valley, San Pedro, South LA, and Boyle Heights. So,
and also there's a distinction between the city of LA government and the LAPD. Right. A lot of people just put them together as one. Yeah. But you're saying that the city of LA is not supposed to turn that information over to LAPD. No. But they can. There's nothing to stop them from doing it.
No, they won't. They won't, because now the director of GRYD, I want to say his name is Melvin Hayward Jr. All right. But Melvin Hayward was a one-time, and he don't run from it. He's from Venice Shore Line. So he got the same rules that we got. So Melvin ain't making sure, but, you know, even before that, Guillermo Cespedes, he was the director. And, you know, I mean, he come from the Bay Area, originally from Cuba, but he lived around here. You know, he lived in the Leimert Park area. So, you know, that wasn't getting out to the police. We would do everything, but that doesn't mean they can't get a subpoena to look and see at our records if they're looking for a certain person. That's why we don't give up names. So if I'm working with somebody like Munchie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take his birthday. Say, give me your birthday. I'm going to put the birthday right there, and then instead of me putting his real initials, I'm going to put MB or something. You know, I'll make up something and put it right there. So now everybody on my team know who I'm working with, who I took to court, who I got a bus pass for, who I got in school, you know, who I talked to his mom or his dad or whatever. But it's nobody's name right there. So we just count our clients, but we're not naming them and making sure. And something else real quick before I move on, sticky notes. So a lawyer told me, never write in a file. put it on a sticky note. Matter of fact, you've been a defense expert. Put it on a sticky note. So if they want to see my notes, I give them all of my files, but take my sticky notes. That's not part of that subpoena.
Yeah.
And now all my sticky notes stay with me.
Yeah. I deliberately don't write or type up reports unless I'm asked to, because they could request it.
Yes.
They could request all my notes. So, but yeah, they've been dragging my boy Munchie B through the mud on the internet, and there's some huge voices that find joy in this. I guess they think it's entertainment, but at the same time, it's pretty slanderous to Munchie and others. And I'm sure you've taken some hits in this arena. What can we do about it?
How do you have a conscious conversation with unconscious people? If they're unconscious and they don't understand, they don't know they're unconscious, what can I talk to them about? Absolutely nothing. But I can give you names. Rest in peace, Big Dan, who just recently passed away. Wesley Logan, and you interviewed him too. Moved out, Lil C's and all these. They ain't never called and said, "What Munchie doing?" You know what I mean? His peers, his age group. Bisco, Rod Dog, Tiny Nut, they ain't never said, "Hey, what you got?" If they not saying that, how can somebody from Kansas City or from St. Louis or somewhere in the Midwest or wherever, how can they say something based on what a huge voice says?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Makes none.
But hey,
Big Bang got my number. If I was doing something wrong, Big Bang from IF would be on my bumper like, "Man, what is you doing with the homie?"
And we actually had a couple homies from where you and I grew up, Skipp, doing GRYD. Mad Ronald had an office over there
indeed.
by First AME Church. They had an office, right?
Yeah.
And Big Tick
Yeah.
was also part of the GRYD.
Yeah.
And
Tick still is. And Baby Monster.
And Baby Monster.
Reptables.
Yeah.
Baby Monster, a squab, you call him, he'll be ready. So yeah, it's just what people believe. Not only them, man, we've had D-Mac from Harlem. We've had Sea-Dog from Harlem. We've had Looney from Harlem. I could name people from every hood. Right now, we talking about Big Twin from 107. Hoover Sam. It don't get no bigger than that from Hoover. I mean, it might, but I don't know anybody bigger than that from Hoover. We got so many different people, man, who got these reputable names. They ain't told on nothing or nobody. So
and then Big U's name is always getting dragged through the mud with his contract. I don't know. They pull up some multi-page PDF file that says hundreds of thousands of dollars and say he working for the police. I've never even paid any attention to it or read it, but it's just frustrating to hear people just create these stories when they're 100% untrue.
The narrative came with the Big U thing, and then me following Big U. The little narrative came from the same person, bro.
The huge voice.
Yeah, yeah, him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He act like a scarring wife. Big U. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I've heard other than Whack 100, who's a big part of the misinformation campaign. There's like 3 or 4 other channels that are from out of town that take his information, repost it, remix it, and tell the same type of story.
All right, so this is my question. So, who could speak up and say that they went down behind somebody that do game prevention or intervention work? Who like, oh, he got on the stand on me, or he did this, and this is the reason why I got convicted?
I don't think that person exists.
Cause you got the right to face your accuser. I'm trying to figure out you know what I'm saying? If it's
Look, I've read a lot of cases, and I haven't read anything in the last 10 years implicating GRYD workers.
Why you say 10 years? What about 20 years?
Well,
GRYD started 2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to it in the first part of this work, and as Skipp just said, it didn't come up a lot. It's really been coming up a lot this last decade.
It came up because of Big U. We know that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
We know it came up
from the big voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So to all you boys and girls out there, a lot of the information on YouTube, on the internet about GRYD is not factual, and just do your research, right?
Yeah. But I mean that shit don't bother me. I don't be tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. It bothers me when I hear it. It's got to bother you a little bit.
Nah, that one person that took the little sound bite, I already had in my mind like, what I'm saying? Yeah, I want to give you a hug, bro. You feel me? But other than that, sorry, I can't pay attention to whack.
Yeah.
But here's another thing too. We're talking about these people from out of town. So there's this dude got an irritating voice, man. Irritating out of man. He does that too. He took it and says, "Too gangster for YouTube." We got Munchie B saying that he get paid, and man, that's so irritating. And I don't want to just highlight him because there's 2-3 others that do that. Take the sound bites and make it their story when Munchie wasn't talking to you. See, I'm not going to post something. If I see you and Munchie talking, I'm not going to take it and repost it. I'm going to talk to Munchie and say, let me catch you on camera real quick saying what you just, I'm not going to take other people's stuff. So I always look like, why are y'all taking other people's stuff and having a conversation about it?
See, that's the number one reason why I strike channels for taking my content, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because they're taking it out of context, putting a spin to it, and misleading the people from the original interview.
Right.
And I got this reputation of striking people, and I don't mind. Do not use my content, especially all you out-of-towners. There's a few people that do use my content that have permission. I ain't tripping on them because I trust the way they deliver their message. But that's exactly why I strike these channels. Oh, you used 2 minutes of this interview? Nah, bro, I don't like your channel. I'm striking it. Then they hit me up in the email. Man, you should have let me know. I would have took it down. I always say, well, you should have let me know you was going to use it.
Right.
And that's
you know how many people took my Pyru Peace March?
Oh, man.
Man, so I'm sitting there looking and, man, about, I'm looking to see how much of it they used. And if I see 20%, 40% or something, I'm not even tripping. But there's some that used 100% of my.
Oh, strike them.
Right. But here's the thing. Then I look and see how many views they have and how many followers. And I said, oh, man, you got about 400 views and you got 40 followers or whatever.
But I strike them regardless. You're saying basically it's a small channel, right?
It's a small channel, so I'm not tripping.
But a bigger channel might grab it from them.
But if a bigger channel take it, but see, I'll see it because it'll tell me in copyright infringement. If a bigger channel take it, oh, no, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to type up, I don't know, what YouTube, whatever, and, man.
Now, what you're talking about when you go on your YouTube account, YouTube tells you who stole your stuff.
Right, exactly.
A lot of people don't know that. They think we just out there looking.
Nah,
so
YouTube will tell me who took it.
Yeah, but sometimes that system's not 100% because I find stuff, I'm like, oh, wow, this guy stole my stuff, but YouTube never alerted me on this particular one. Yeah. So I strike them even if they're a small channel because a big channel can come up and not take it from you, but take it from them.
Yeah.
I hit them all because they're all contributing.
What I did to one of them, a big channel, I said, man, what you could have done is you could have said where your source came from, who you took this from. You know what I mean? You could have did that. And then whoever it was, he hit me back and said, I'm switching it up right now. And he went in and edited and gave me credit for it. So I'm like, I ain't tripping now.
No, that was a beautiful march. Man, I was supposed to pull up to that. Something happened that I couldn't pull up. But we know who didn't pull up, huh, Munch?
Oh, yeah. Absentee ballot.
Yeah, the huge voice.
Well, we were just talking about AC.
Pyru wasn't there.
We were just talking about AC Moses and Babolouie. You know Babolouie, right? And man, I'm in awe of everybody that was there, but there was no huge voice there.
Nah, not at all.
Of course not.
Bro, don't pull up. I think Munchie did a great little analysis of why he don't pull up and was able to document all the times he got hands put on him in a very systematic way that
for real,
the people really tapped in with that.
Yeah, man. I don't know. The huge voice, he counterproductive. Like, you feel me? He say the Pyru Peace March was for a rollout for YG album. And just stupid shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Skipp, I noticed that you was tapping in with Faux Extras and Spoety Face. Were they ambassadors too? I want to just talk a little bit about Faux Extra because he's in custody again. But did you reach out to them for ambassador work?
So Faux Extra was reaching out to me because he thought that I had a GRYD contract in his area. He must have heard a huge voice too, right?
Yeah.
So they was telling me, man, Faux Extra looking for you. I'm like, all right, what do you want? And I just avoided him at all costs. So one day, my son was working out there and at Lamert Park, and he said, hey, man, Faux Extra looking for you, and he know I'm your son. So I said, all right, what are you talking about? He said, man, he really want to talk to you. So I said, all right, call him up for me. And he called, and he said, man, do you got the contract, the GRYD contract in my area? And I said, nah. I said, the GRYD contract in your area is developing options. So he said, I'm going to call you back. 5 minutes later, somebody from developing options we was just talking about called me and said, man, did you tell that dude?
Hey.
I said, I don't. He said, man, you know, we stop at Vernon. We only go this far. We only deal with these areas. And I said, I don't know what the parameters are for your contract. You know what I mean? He said, nah, we just in my area, whatever. So I started talking to him and saying, look, man, here's what I'll do. I can give you and your peoples everything I have at Lamert. You know, I'll hire all your folks. I don't want to bring nobody in from Cal State LA or somebody I got off Indeed or whatever and put them at Lamert Park or put them in your area. So that's how me and him got cool. And yeah, I brought him on, him and his cousin,
Spoety Face.
Spoety Face. We call him Turtle. But yeah, we brought him on so that they could do the things in their area to bring peace. And it was working cool, but then he kept going back and forth to jail. And Spoety Face had something that he had left out in Arizona. So when he paroled from Arizona, they wanted him to stay for a year, like in transitional house. When he came to California, it messed up because California said, well, you know, we don't have nothing on you. We don't have paperwork. So they just let him run his course. But Arizona was like, nah, he had to come back. So he ended up going back, and now 4 Extra seemed like every other month he going back.
Now, when you put these people on in terms of these jobs, do you tell them, hey, bro, you got to be for real. You can't be going back and forth to jail. It's a bad look that you're doing this quote unquote peace work, but at the same time you're getting violated for your parole and you're back in jail. How do you deal with that?
So I would have had those conversations with them, but when I have my meetings and my trainings, matter of fact, not this time, but the last time that 4 Extra went to jail, we were in a training when his parole officer called. So he's sitting at the table with L. Mike from Bloodstone Villain, Rod Dog from IF, you know, the Long Beach, the O-Hoods from Long Beach. And, you know, I got everybody sitting at the table, for everybody from everywhere. And he got the call, said, man, my parole officer want to see me. You know, so he sits at the table and he's cool with all them. You know what I mean? So we chop it up, and, you know, we know that one of us represents all of us. And, you know, I always use this example. If I start smoking Sherm running up and down Adams Boulevard naked with a second call hat on, is it going to have an effect on all of you guys? And they're like, hell yeah. I'm like, so if you do that to me, if you run up and down the street doing something stupid, it would affect all of us, whether it's Long Beach, Azusa, Inglewood, Compton, whatever. So we've had those conversations, but he was also in a meeting on a Wednesday when Lupe called him and said, hey, Adam wants you to work with him at No Jumper. So I think that if 4 Extra would have, I don't know, I can't speak on it, but I think that if 4 Extra would have had more time with second call, as opposed to, I want to just say the distractions that he's been having lately, yeah, he probably would have been able to make a change. And the person who really, who was his biggest influence, you know, they took him to jail, which was Spoety Face, Turtle, yeah. So I think I needed Turtle to help me with him. But, you know, even when he went to jail that time and he called me and he had been in jail 4 or 5 days, he told me he hadn't been fighting. And I put it out there, which I shouldn't have, and they took it and
twist your words.
Twist my words.
Took it out of context.
And everybody like, oh, Skipp lying, trying to impress the judge and the parole officer. And then I was at my auntie funeral, and I'm out there thinking, and I just said, man, I'm going to shout out all y'all who taking my stuff and twisting it. And then they took that and twisted that. I made a video on Saturday about a phone call that I got. And in my phone call, I said that somebody, 4 Extra, is doing what he got to do to get up out of there. And somebody took my video, took the information from it, and put extras on it. And said, oh, he hugging the enemies, he turning down fades and all that. That's the type of shit that gets you put in this place right here. Or it's the type of shit that'll get somebody else put in this place. So I'm saying this because a lot of people, y'all don't know who I am. You don't know what I do. So don't question me. Don't question the authenticity of what I said. I was on the phone with dude. But I want you to question yourself. I want you to question, why would you listen to somebody who ain't from no hood, don't put his face up, talk with, hey, YouTube. Why would y'all listen to him when I'm telling you what dude told me? So I'm like, man, let me just leave that alone.
Now I noticed Munchie had a little back and forth with faux extras, and I'm hoping that it doesn't turn into anything bigger than what it is. Have you had a chance to tap in with some of the back and forth between Munchie and faux extra online? No. Okay.
Faux extra said something too. Faux extra, I haven't seen him. So when he got out, he came to the office. I wasn't there. He had that video, and I was doing a training that day, and he kept calling me, "You ain't coming? Come to the video." Leimert Park, when he was with AD from Compton AD, right?
Compton AV.
AV, yeah. Okay, so I'm like, man, I'm training, man. And I was done like at 4, and I was like, man, I'm tired. I ain't had nothing to eat. I ain't about to go up to the park. You know what I mean? So I really hadn't been around him since he got out. He ain't come to the trainings. He was coming to the office. He's dealing with the administrative staff and all that, but I ain't had the chance to talk to him. So, and I'm not on the internet like that, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I think Munchie just didn't agree with one of his stories, and you know how.
Oh, that flame, Deuce Flame.
There you go.
Yeah, I wasn't with the
yeah.
deflammatory, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Switching, lying and shit. That didn't run me the right way. And the homie, he don't have no platform, no voice, and all that. He trying to embarrass him and lie on him and all that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So
nah.
woke him up, knocked him out, woke him up again.
Woke him up, knock him out, woke him up, knock him up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that type of talk I don't think is a healthy conversation. Talking about who you knocked out.
Cause what kind of reaction you think you'll get from some shit like that? You know what I'm saying?
But even if it's true, I'm just saying, even if it's true,
if it was true, I wouldn't have said nothing.
I know, but I'm just saying, why do we feel the need to go online to talk about who we knocked out?
I mean, that's his lane. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how he entered the internet.
Yeah, that is.
He talked about Jab Fly from Hova and how he beat him up, so everybody was into it. So you know what I'm saying? He keeping it going, but I wouldn't have never said nothing if he didn't lie on this particular person. But if it's some truth to it, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't don't type just go defend a lie. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I looked up his case. He has no bail right now, and he has a CDCR hold, which means I guess that he's got to do a little bit of time. They're gonna ship him out at some point. Maybe have you had a chance to talk to him since his recent arrest?
He called me since he would call me all the time. He got arrested.
But he called you the last time.
He called me all the time,
which was like around November.
Yeah.
Somewhere
in there, yeah.
All right. Well, if he does tap in with you, find out if this is accurate. This is just according to the L.A. County Sheriff's website that they got a CDCR hold on him and no bail. Yeah. Which sounds like he's got to go to state prison for a few months. But
yeah, so figured like this, man. If I'm talking to him about peace in the streets and different things, and I was really trying to get him and his cousin ready to go meet what's the dude named Face, G Face from Trouble. This is the older one, not the younger one. Got all the tattoos, but this is
Big G Face.
Big G Face, right? So me and him have been talking about a peace march up and down Normandy. And I said, man, let me holler at these dudes. And Turtle was with it. Spoety Face was with it. And Faux Extra was like, man, I'm going to leave that to him, whatever. But so that's where I was working. But then once he got on the platform where he was able to talk about other things, it distracted from the peace effort. It went to the lane, like if I heard Munchie correctly, the lane he was in, that was his lane. And that's where he flourished. And it's hard for me to get somebody out of their lane with it. It's hard for me to get Michael Jordan to stop playing basketball to come over here and play baseball with me. You know what I mean? Even though he like it or whatever, but nah, that wasn't his lane.
It's gotten so out of control that he challenged a UFC fighter, and Adam got the UFC fighter on the phone. The UFC fighter said, "Bro, I will knock your gangsta ass out." And Adam said, "I think this dude will beat you. He's a professional at this." And 4 Extras is like, "Nah, I'm gonna whip his ass too."
You know what? I got to stop real quick because Randall Glover, they call him Bang. He passed away a couple days ago. So I just want to give a shout out to the Glover family, man. He OD'd and the paramedics. Well, first of all, K-Rock was given giving him CPR, and then the paramedics took over, and when the police came, they called for backup and just want to fight the 40s and all that. K-Rock ended up in jail. So he too got a no bail. He in jail for assault on a police officer. But I know the whole neighborhood is really sad, because this dude was a good dude. He wasn't crazy shooting and all that type stuff, but he was just really good for their community. So
Right. Rest in peace, Midget Bang. Yeah. Send my condolences to Pee Wee. That's Pee Wee from 40's relative.
yeah.
And the 40s are making a big splash on the internet in all kind of ways. Rapping. Another one was on the album with Kendrick Lamar. Is it Doty 6, Munch?
Yeah, 36.
Doty 6. I kind of like X-Fo's flow. And then you had Spoety Face and Faux Extras. They just huge personalities. Yeah. They're not rappers. They don't really. They're just personalities. And then Baby Runner. Yeah. Baby Runner's funny.
Yeah, he's
so.
funny.
I just wanted to tap in with that. Hopefully, Faux Extra will be back home soon before the end of the year. But if they send you to the CDCR, does that mean you're doing? Because if you're only doing 2 years, you're going to do that in the county.
No,
2 years or less?
I don't think you could do that. That's a new charge. I think violation got to be 1 year, right?
I thought the county was taking everything that was 1 year or less or 2 years or less. But when I saw the CDCR hold on them, then I was like, okay.
He might do it there. I don't know.
He might stay at the county?
Yeah, he might stay at the county. It just depends.
All righty. Hey, these 4 LAPD officers got caught making a racist and sexist remarks, and they've been taken off of duty. Let me read a couple paragraphs on this and then get your reaction to it. A sergeant, this is crazy because there's 2 high-ranking LAPD members, a sergeant and a lieutenant, and 2 other officers assigned to the recruiting employment division have been assigned to home duty with their powers stripped pending an internal investigation into alleged racist and sexist remarks. According to sources with knowledge of the incident, and this is from KTLA Channel 5, who spoke to the Times, the assigning police department employees to their home without police powers during an investigation is reserved for the most egregious violations. We don't know what was said. We don't know. There's no recording so far. But apparently one source who spoke anonymously to KTLA 5 said they were not authorized to speak about the details of the investigation, but described the alleged comments as shocking and crude. Now, this is coming from our beloved LAPD, and they were making anti-racist and anti-sexist remarks, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, why they say shocking? That's what I was trying to figure out. Why?
It must have been something like, hey, I was shocked when the Latina girl from the LA City Council, her recording came out.
Yeah.
Oh, that was years ago.
That was, because
about only 3, right? About 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was 20, because me and FG talked about that. That was 2022.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked, like, wow, this Mexican chick is talking about black folks like this?
Yeah, well, I'm shocked that Kevin De Leon didn't leave and they didn't force him out and people started loving him again. And
they tried to force him out, though. They was at his house every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried. I'm going to tell you why Kevin De Leon refused to leave.
$200,000 a year.
Plus, he had just bought a $900,000 house in his district with a $6,000 or $5,000 per month mortgage.
Right.
And he needed that, was it 18 a month, right? What do they make?
I don't know. They make $207,000 a year.
Yeah, so he needed that money to pay his mortgage, and there was no way he was going to just resign.
Hey, that woman you was talking that you talking about, the Latina lady,
Yeah.
she was talking spicy.
Oh, yeah, she was. I want to pull up her name.
And it seemed like she was like the ringleader. Like it was men on the line that wasn't even talking as like, you know what I'm saying?
When you say the ringleader, she was the council president.
Yeah.
So it used to be Herb Wesson was the council president. And when he left office, she became council president. So you the council president over all of them, all the different 15 councils.
Sheesh.
So yeah, she was the ringleader.
We're talking about Nury Martinez.
Yeah, Nury Martinez. Exactly.
And she bowed out as soon as those audios dropped.
She already knew.
Yeah, she bowed out. And so did there was
the dude from the labor union. He bowed out too.
Ron Herrera. He bowed out.
Yeah.
But Kevin De Leon, he had to lose in an election.
Right.
Let me read another couple of paragraphs from this LAPD story. Newly installed LAPD Chief Jim McDonald has made it clear that the department faces staffing issues saying that at the time of his appointment, there were 1,200 fewer officers than when he was on the force 15 years ago. The investigation into alleged offenses by the 4 supervising officers might be delving into their recent selections and rejections of other candidates.
As it should. Because I want to tell you who I blame, not him. I blame somebody for putting him in office. He shouldn't be there.
Jim McDonald?
Jim McDonald shouldn't be there. I mean, he's been 40 years, either LAPD, Long Beach, or the sheriff.
Yeah.
How do you stop stuff like that if you were a part of it back in the day? That's like me being in the 20s or in Inglewood saying, man, we're going to stop Bloods from being Bloods. Well, Skipp, you was a part of it. You need somebody else who, you know what I mean? So there's a black lady who was a deputy chief, and there's a black dude who's a deputy chief. I want to blame them. Because first of all, they should have been chosen to be chief. But then second of all, they know stuff is going on as well. And if you're not saying nothing, if you're not doing nothing about it, then this is just going to flourish and grow, and it's going to become bigger and bigger. So back in the days, I know people who said, oh, they said my credit score was bad. I couldn't do that. So the reason we don't have black people in LAPD is because there's a gatekeeper. And the gatekeepers is like Nury Martinez. And just like Kevin De Leon, and they pick and choose who they want, and that's why we see the majority of LAPD, probably 50-60% is Hispanic. And then if you look at all the people with the stars and bars, all the captains and assistant chief and all them, they white.
They're all white. Yeah.
They all white. So that's the same thing in construction.
Okay, but how come our city council has a lot of black members in it? We have Herb Weston, as you said.
4.
Okay, that's 4. We have we have a black mayor now, Miss Bass.
You know what she did? She's the one who selected the police chief.
Okay. And then we also have, what's the guy on the east side? I think he's under indictment. Curran Price.
You got Curran Price, Marquise Harris Dawson. And now you got Heather Hutt that took Mark Ridley Thomas. That was his slot. And he had to give it up. And Herb Weston came back, but they said, nope, illegal. He already did his terms, and he's out. So Heather Hutt in there. So if you got Heather Hutt, Marquise Harris Dawson, and you have Curran Price, but we have 15 different districts, 3 of them black. Come on, that's not a lot of people.
Yeah, but they could definitely push for more black recruitment in the LAPD. You know.
But if you got gatekeepers, what does that mean when they not in the room in the meetings when they in the back talking about? What about him, the black guy? Nope, not the black guy. What about him? What about her, the lady? No, not her, not the lady. So that's the stuff they do behind closed doors.
All right, growing LAPD's rank is a top priority to this administration and our city, Karen Bass said. So this conduct is especially outrageous and unacceptable. The mayor added that she and Chief McDonald are working together to fix the recruiting and hiring process to make sure that officers stuck in the past don't tarnish the badge for everyone.
But what do we need more officers for? Because if I know you do research. If you do your research, we have less homicides than we've ever had.
Hey, Munchie and I just talked about
we have
24 homicides.
We have less crime than we've ever had. So back in the 80s and 90s, it was necessary. 92, 93, the highest number of homicides was in those 2 years. And if you realize, 92 was the year of the peace treaty, when we were at peace with each other, when the Grape Streets and the Nickersons stopped their war. 1993 was the big meeting with the 13s, the Southsider, where they stopped the drive-by shootings. So in the 2 years where both different ethnic groups came together, you mean to tell me there was more homicides that year? Why is that?
Shoot, I
could tell you.
Why?
LAPD, man. Because in the Pueblos, they say the dude was walking in the store, got shot in the face about 4 or 5 times. Who the hell could shoot that good? Everybody I know would have shot him in the foot, shot the arm, shot little kids down the street, somebody's grandmama watering the grass. I don't know anybody who could aim and shoot 4 times in the face like that. You know what I mean? So it's always been something to stop us from getting along.
Yeah, I definitely agree that we don't need to hire 1,000 more police officers during a time where we're seeing record low violent crime numbers.
Right.
There's no need. But, you know, they're never going to say no to more officers. You'll never, ever see a department say we need less officers.
Because they need more arrests. They need more convictions. They need more people to go to jail, more people to go to prison. And some people sign up for it, you know.
Well, I'm hoping that they have an audio of these. I'm assuming they have audio of these 4 officers saying whatever they said, and hopefully it'll become public. You know, right now they're protecting these 4 cops, even though they said they've been assigned to home duty with their powers stripped. But I believe they're still getting paid.
Yeah, of course they're getting paid.
They're still getting
If
paid.
they can't do that, they'll sue them. If they stop paying them, they'll sue.
But this is a brand new story. I hope that whoever's on top of this story, it's the LA Times and KTLA, they push to get the audios so we can hear what was said. Right. Because without hearing those audios from those four and let me tell you, what those 3 Latino council members were doing in 2022 when they were on audio, they were actually on audio the year before. Someone held that for a year, dropped it in 2022. They were talking about redistricting Los Angeles so that more Mexicans can get elected to city council and less blacks. Gerrymandering, basically.
Yes, indeed.
So let's cut up this district right here.
Redlining.
Yeah, so they'll take an area with a whole lot of black residents, and they'll cut it in half and put some in this district, some in that district, so that they have more votes. Ooh, shady.
And I'm glad they got caught, because most people will say, "Oh man, stop being a victim, stop playing the victim. Ain't that y'all got the same amount of y'all just ain't voting this and that." You know, I hate that, man. I hate the fact that, you know, even we into it with other races. You know, I mean that's crazy to me. You know, but it's the reality is the truth.
Okay, so out of the 15 districts in Los Angeles, only 3 are led by blacks, right?
Tell me where I'm wrong. And I mean, Tim McCosker is a good dude. He's a white guy, but he's the council district for Watts. How is Watts and San Pedro in the same district? That's crazy. You know, he council district 15 is his, and I ain't saying nothing bad about him, because, you know, I talked to him several times. He's really a good dude. He's really genuinely interested in meeting the people. But he's a white guy from San Pedro. He should not be the council member for Watts if you've never slept in one of the projects, the front street, the back streets, the Hat Gang neighborhood, something, Bebop, spend the night somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, Inglewood has 4 council districts, Munchie. Do you keep up with the politics there and who's running those 4 districts?
No, I used to be up on it because my auntie, when she was living in Inglewood, she attended all the meetings and all of that. She, you know what I'm saying, come back and enlighten me on certain things, but I ain't really brushed up on it.
All right, I'm going to throw the names out there real quick, just and their race. Council District 1 in Inglewood is led by Gloria Gray. She looks like a sister.
Yeah, she is a sister. Okay. She's cool, too.
Okay. That's Gloria Gray out of District number 1. District number 2 is an older brother named Alex Padilla.
Yeah, he ex-police officer. Okay. He was actually pulled in by Mayor Butts. They were police officers together. He was the chief in Santa Monica, and Padilla was a sergeant.
District 3 is a Latino brother named Eloy Morales, a younger guy.
Yep, that's one of Butts' people, too.
Okay, and the last district is a sister named Dion Falk. So you got 2 blacks and 2 Mexicans running Inglewood, Munch.
Yeah, man, we need to get Mayor Butts out of there for sure.
Why is that?
Because he ain't no good. Like, everything he done been into, he got swept up under the rug. All the domestic violence and whipping on his wife and all that. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't with law enforcement becoming like mayors.
Oh yeah, he definitely been bouncing back and forth between
Inglewood and Santa Monica.
Elected official
and L.A. World Airport. He was the chief at L.A. World Airport too.
Yeah, he was the chief of Santa Monica Police.
Yeah, Santa Monica and Lawa.
In fact, I went to a press conference when one of those dudes stabbed up somebody during a hip hop concert back in 2004. Was one of the G Unit dudes, if anyone remembers.
Young Buck.
Young Buck, there you go. Young Buck did a stabbing, and that was I didn't really meet Spider Loke, but Spider was there because he was tapped in the G Unit. I'm doing a press conference. Butts is doing the press conference at Santa Monica, and on my footage you see Spider standing in the background back in that was 2004, and now this guy is. What is he? The mayor of Inglewood?
Yeah, the mayor.
The mayor of Inglewood. Okay.
Been there. This is third time.
Yeah.
I prefer if the mayor was of the community. You know what I'm saying?
But he is from L.A.
No, but I ain't with law enforcement being because they got all the same type of agenda.
He grew up in the hood. I did an
He
interview
went
with.
to Crenshaw, right?
He went to elementary school somewhere in the 90s. Is it 92nd Street Elementary? He went to a school. I did an interview with one of the OGs and said that he was a book nerd back then, and they used to like bully him a little bit. He had all his books, his backpack, so he was always on that straight and narrow since a little kid.
Yeah, but what he doesn't like, and we had a conversation back in 2013, I think, or whenever he became the mayor, and it was like 10 homicides by March in the city of Inglewood. So I went to talk to him, and he said, that's not indicative of our city, and you're not going to put that on us, and we don't have gang problems. And right after that, he canceled the gang unit. You know, he said we don't have gang homicides, and, you know, he started hiding stuff. But I didn't know he was bringing the Rams and the Clippers over there. I didn't know he was about to make Inglewood $1 billion. All I was telling him is you just spent $150,000 on a gang injunction, and everybody on that gang injunction was on drugs and 50-something years old. It wasn't targeted. I mean, the only person who was really targeted that I would say was in Munchie's age group was Green Eyes and his brother
Nutty Boy.
Nutty Boy. Them was the only two that was targeted. Everybody else was, you know, like older people who wasn't even. They was on drugs. They was hanging out at the lot over there on Manchester, and you know, or rallies or something like that. So I was trying to talk to him about, man, I could take that same $150,000 and I can get a couple of ambassadors to do safe passes at the schools, go to the football games, the basketball games, stop some of the violence. And that was it. He just shut me out. They didn't want me at the city council meetings, none of that.
So did they have any sort of outreach, gang outreach, intervention outreach under Butts?
No.
Nothing.
There's ambassadors in Inglewood, but they under second call. And I had to go to the school board when they started fighting, when the Inglewood 13 said, all BK, take it how you want, however you want to use that B, you know. So I have ambassadors at the school at Morningside. I got Lil Hawk at Morningside.
Shout out Lil Hawk.
Shout out to Lil Hawk. I call him Young Bobby. I got guys at Inglewood. You know, shout out to the guys at Inglewood. A couple of them are Inglewood 13s. The rest of them Inglewood families. You know, so we gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop it whether Butts want me to or not. I'm gonna get down to where we ain't gotta kill each other. You know, because the one thing Squeak Rue said to me that really stood out, he said it's an internal war. He said it's Inglewood killing Inglewood. It ain't like, you know, the 60s coming or the 9-0s coming or something like that. He said Inglewood 13s and the Queen Streets both belong in the same area in Inglewood. So does the neighborhood Pyru. So does the Inglewood family, Cinderella Park family. So it ain't like somebody else is coming in hurting us hurting us.
Now, can you explain to me why Butts, who has turned Inglewood into an unaffordable place for the average person, wouldn't want to address the gang issues publicly?
Because he has billion-dollar conversations. He's not having $1 million. He's having billion-dollar conversations with billionaires telling him he has a safer city.
Right.
So, but he's not giving credit to the fact that I chased Munchie down for 3-4 years. You know, he ain't giving credit to that. He ain't giving credit to when the Queen Streets and Inglewood family was doing their thing, that me and Big I from NHP and Jamal Muhammad walking down the alley trying to get the Queen Streets to not, and then I'm looking for the homie over in Inglewood who's doing a lot of. We ain't getting no money for that. We ain't get paid for that. But he not giving credit to that. What he want to give credit to is that we don't have them problems. So that way he don't have to answer nothing. But quiet as kept, man. There's a lot of people been doing the work in Inglewood, even KB and Big Dane before I was doing it.
Yeah.
Big Vic and Beapone from Queen Street had the Inglewood Peacemakers before I started doing it. So there's so many people who. Khalid Shaw was Stop the Violence.
Increase the Peace.
Yeah, so he had Dane and Raina Carrillo who ran for mayor. He had all of them, Daphne. He had them doing it. And then when I came around, you know, I'm working with Nutty Boy and all them trying to see what we could do. So he's not giving no credit to that. He's saying, oh, we don't have no gangs. But, man, you do have gangs.
Yeah, a lot of politicians try to
downplay it.
Yeah, or deny that it even exists.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Which is, it's just insane.
It is.
It's insane.
That's like getting a bill. That's like getting one of them urgent notices for your gas. You throw it in the drawer and ignore it. What's going to happen in about 15 days, 14 days? Everything going to get cut off. I can't ignore certain things. And if you ignore, especially the homie B Red got killed, you can't ignore that. That could have turned all the lights off in Inglewood. Mm-hmm. Especially if the dude with him I ain't gonna say his name, but if the dude with him, TD, would have got hit, there would be no stopping. I wouldn't even said nothing. I'd have been sitting right next to his mama like, man, I'm sorry, I'm here with you, but I ain't telling nobody nothing. I ain't even gonna address it. You can't address certain things, you know?
Hey, man, Butts be on some BS.
No, he's a butt. He's a butt.
Yeah, he need to get up out of there. I'm confused on how it work with terms when it come to mayors.
Oh, they must not have term limits in Inglewood.
Yeah, because he's on, I know he did 3. I think he's on his 4th right now.
Yeah. All right, man. I want to talk about this shooting that happened. No, not too far from where we're at here at the Street TV studios. 3 people were shot inside of a car, including a 6-month-old baby. I wanted to bring this up because it's just a demonstration of reckless shooting. Not that there is sensible shooting, but if you're gonna shoot, know who you're shooting at. A 6-month-old baby should never be eating a bullet. The shooting occurred at 4:30 on Saturday near. They're calling it Jefferson Park. That's not really Jefferson Park, huh? 24th and yeah.
That's the biddy, man.
Yeah. 2 women, 20 and 40 years old, and a 6-month-old baby boy were shot. They were all transported to the hospital in stable condition. No arrests have been made, but police believe the incident is gang-related. Now, before we talk about it, I have a short clip that I'm going to play.
Three people shot inside a car in Jefferson Park, including a 6-month-old baby. Video from the Citizen app showing the scene tonight on Arlington Avenue and 24th Street. Police saying 2 women were shot along with that 6-month-old baby boy. They were all taken to the hospital and are expected to survive. No arrests have been made, but police say they do believe this is gang related.
Hold on, so they said 2 women?
Yeah, two women and a 6-month-old baby.
Why they assume that was gang related?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like a crime of passion type.
Yeah, that's you ain't leaving me, girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it seemed like to me. And you know them girls always got their friend who be in their business. He ain't no good. And you leave my friend alone. Yeah, y'all can get it. You know what I mean? That's not always gang related. So that's crazy.
Now, did you find out any information on it, because that's kind of close to home for both of us?
Man, you know, as soon as I heard about it, and they said, but they didn't tell me 24th and Arlington. I guess they had drove to 3920 27th Street.
Correct.
You know, and I used to live on that block, and my kids and all that. So I'm like, damn. And then I started calling the area, like, man, who was that? Who was that? And everybody from the biddy, like, man, I don't know him. And I started calling the 20s. They said, we don't know him. So I'm like, damn, they're not from the area. Somebody's baby. We gonna find out whose baby got shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
And everybody that I talked to from the biddy and from the 20s was like, man, we don't know them.
I'm surprised they didn't say their names though. Said 2 women in the age of the baby, but they didn't say their names.
Nah, I guess because it's kind of too soon. And that 3900 block of 27th is near Edge Hill, right?
Yeah, that's between Edge Hill and 7th Ave. It's a long block.
Yeah, and
I used to live at 3730.
so they drove from 24th and Arlington to that location.
Edge Hill, busted left and pulled over there. Like, okay, we safe.
All right. Yeah, I just found it disturbing that whoever was popping, they had to know that they were with a baby.
Right? You know, car seats sit low. You
though.
can't really see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you can see the head and the window view, whatever. But it's still unfortunate. That's tore up.
But in the example you guys just said, it's a disgruntled boyfriend, right?
I can't say that's the truth,
let's
but
just-
I'm going with
That's
that
what I'm leaning
scenario.
towards.
If that's the scenario, you know this broad got a kid.
Okay, yeah. So
You
that's
know?
different, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. We don't know. We just speculating on that.
Right.
But gang related, you
They quick to say gang related.
yeah, because you know what I'm saying you contacted.
Well, they talked to the 2 women. One is 20, one is 40.
They survived.
Yeah,
Like
everyone's
one is what?
20 and the other one's 40.
Okay, so that's a 20-year difference.
Yeah.
Sound like mother and daughter, mother
Auntie
and
and
auntie,
niece.
Yeah.
niece, something like that. You know, that's really crazy.
But is it fair to say that if the shooting was about one of these 3 persons, it's not the 6-month-old baby,
right.
it's probably not the 40-year-old. Could be, but it's most likely the 20-year-old girl.
Mostly the 20-year-old
Yeah.
and you know the situation. But right before that, there was a shooting. Some of my people She say she's coming out the jungles, car in front of her, bust a U-turn. And when they bust a U, they almost hit her car. And she said, "Damn, dog." And they said, "Dog? Bitch, this Crip." Psh, psh, psh.
Yeah, I heard that.
And started shooting at her 2 kids in the back seat. So they didn't get hit. She got hit in the neck and hit in the chest. But the kids got the blood all over them from her. The glass broke all up in their face. So they got glass all in their hair and in their face. And, you know, it's kind of hard to speak positive when people are doing negative stuff like that. How do you shoot a woman for calling you dog? She didn't say blood. She said dog.
I think I heard this story, but I heard I heard it was somewhere else though. But yeah, I think we
So
talked.
now she went. So what she did is she drove to the gas station right at the corner, La Brea and Coliseum.
Okay.
And then the homie Ezekiel went to the fire station and told the fire department, "Man, why y'all ain't here?" And they said, "We just got the call." So they all went to La Brea and Coliseum to the gas station to help her out. And she's alive. She out the hospital. I done went and seen her. She's cool now. But my whole point is, why are we shooting at women when, I don't know, man. That just wasn't, in my era, they would have to be out shooting dice, hanging with all the homies that I don't like. They'd have to be out there to risk getting shot, but not just driving in the car.
It's probably the drugs. You got to be under the influence. You know that one of the first persons murdered from where we grew up, Skipp, was a female. I don't know if you knew her name, Jody, 1981. She was killed by the Harlems.
Where was she at?
I don't recall.
I thought the first person killed was
Well, you gonna say Stoney?
Yeah.
That was 1986.
Yeah, I was in jail.
See, Jody. Some people don't consider Jody.
Or the dude, what's his name, Cliff, I think, that got hit by a bus.
Shamrock
got hit by the bus.
He got hit, or he had a few names. He got hit by a bus in '85, a year before.
Shamrock was Dez.
That's right.
Shamrock is
the one that got hit by a bus. Was it? Yeah, that was 1985, a year before Stoney.
Right.
But a woman named Jody, she was killed in '81. But some people don't consider her like being from the neighborhood. She lived here but hung out.
Where did she get killed at?
Oh man, this it's before my time, 1981. And I was 10 years old, so I don't know. I do the research.
Yeah.
And then someone went to jail for that too. But all right, last story, and I hope that 6-month old baby boy makes a full recovery.
Right.
The last story, and Munch, I know you're gonna be happy at this because you was talking your mess about this case every episode we did, but they dismissed that crazy rape allegation civil lawsuit against Jay-Z.
Yeah, I'm glad they went away with that because that was a reputable lawyer representing old girl too. Like, why did he follow through with that after he started sounding like, when he heard she sounded dumb, why he isn't just, you know what I'm saying? She was sounding crazy.
I think eventually the lawyer pulled her to the side because it wasn't dismissed by the courts. It wasn't dismissed by the judge. They themselves self-dismissed it.
Right. He must have known the consequences if you keep going with this lie. And Jay-Z, too, with the attorneys he can get.
Right.
Yeah. Let me just read a couple paragraphs here. The civil case accusing Diddy and Jay-Z Carter of sexually assaulting a then 13-year-old girl was dismissed. The Jane Doe in the case attorney voluntarily dismissed the lawsuit. There's a typo in this article. But they voluntarily dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice through their attorney, according to the following, and I'm reading this from ABC News. So I'm surprised there's a typo. Counsel for a plaintiff have discussed this matter with counsel for each defendant who acknowledged and consent to this submission. So I'm assuming that the lawyer pulled the girl to the side and said, that interview you did, where she was a silhouette, you didn't really sound that good. You contradicted some of the statements in our initial filing.
And he probably told her not to do the interview.
Probably. But she probably got a little money. And then he probably also told her that your daddy's story doesn't corroborate with your story. And that is very hurtful to the case.
Right. And then, I forget his name, something Madden, she particularly said she was holding conversations with him at the party, and he said he wasn't even there. he was doing a tour through the Midwest or something like that.
We want to begin with this big development. The Alabama woman who said she was raped by rappers Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs when she was 13 has actually withdrawn her lawsuit against both men. Both men have denied these claims, and documents submitted by her attorneys did not include any reason or explanation for the withdrawal. Jay-Z's released his attorneys released a statement saying, in part, the system has failed, and claims that this was simply a money grab. What do you think happened here?
Bill, good to be back with you. This was a troubling allegation because, first off, there were inconsistencies with her story, and it was a very serious allegation. And for instance, she said that her father picked her up from Rochester, New York to New York City, 5-hour drive, and then drove her home that night. But the father did not remember any of it. That's something you would definitely remember. And she also said there were other celebrities she spoke to at the party. Those celebrities were not even there at the party. So I think what happened is this woman's claims weren't vetted properly. And then once the inconsistencies were revealed, they then cut bait. And in exchange for dismissing this, the plaintiff's lawyers here are not going to be found to be liable under the law for any misdeeds. They're not going to be sent to the bar for any disqualification. So they're just both going to go their separate ways.
Yeah, that's good, man. And it's going to mess up your reputation as a lawyer, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's Tony Busby. He's the attorney. He was the attorney for the girl. No, but I think it shows that this is great because very rarely do the person and the attorney who filed the case dismiss it themselves. You know, so this is a good sign that the attorney took the case, thought that there was an opportunity here, but then realized this is not going to go anywhere. We have to dismiss it. Now, this girl can go get another attorney and refile, but I think it's pretty much a done deal.
Yeah, once they saying that they backed off of this one, that's going to weaken the next, you know what I'm saying, civil claim if you try to go forward with it.
Carter and his lawyer strongly denied the claims in both public statements and court filings, accusing Busby, the attorney, the woman's lawyer, of conducting an extortionate campaign against him. Carter addressed the dismissal in a statement through Roc Nation, his entertainment company, saying, "Today is a victory. The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. The civil suit was without merit and never going anywhere." And they just inducted Jay-Z into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Did you see that? He just got inducted for one of his albums. So,
Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt. I think it was Reasonable Doubt. Yeah, he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame there. And at the same week, he gets this case dismissed. So it's a victory for Jay-Z all around.
A good week for him, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely a good week. And it's a good week for Beyonce, you know.
Why?
Because she has to deal with the backlash of, damn, your husband raped a 13-year-old girl. You know some people was believing it.
Yeah, that can make her lose money.
Man, I don't know who was believing that, man.
But you got to figure corporations, big corporations, who's backing her, giving her millions of dollars or whatever. They would look what they did to Yeezy, to Kanye West.
Kanye West shoot himself in the foot, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you see what happened? Corporate America started taking their money back. Like, okay,
Right.
Yeah, Adidas dropped him like that
yeah,
for making some, I don't know, and I don't remember what he
That
said.
song with a swastika on it or something.
Yeah.
And even if you go to the Yeezy website, he got a shirt that say "White Lives Matter."
And he made some anti-Semitic statements, but you know, Adidas it was founded by like Nazis 100 years ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Remember we talked about it, the brothers?
Oh yeah, right.
They were German.
Right.
wow,
And then the brothers got into it. The other brothers started Puma.
Right.
wow.
Yeah, and they're number 2 and number 3 on the list of most successful footwear companies in America.
Right behind Nike.
Right behind Nike. Okay. There you go. We had a big. Yeah, we had
a little debate about it.
Yeah, we had a debate about who are the top 3. We were taking guesses. This dude Spider said Skechers. We all agreed Nike, but we had to guess the next 2. He said Skechers and Vans.
And I think I said Nike, Adidas, Reebok.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I said Nike, Adidas, Puma.
Right.
So Skechers, I used to work for 310 Motoring, and Skechers, listening to Mark Layler, started creating shoes and stuff. They had Terrence Howard, and they had the game. I don't know if y'all remember the Hurricane game.
Those shoes was trash.
All right. But
You had a few pair, my bad. hey, you know Skipp fly, man.
But I used to
rocked them
walk
right.
through there. I would just walk through, and they tell me, get what you want. Because I was the transport. I was the tow truck driver. So I got all the shoes. And then they took a Cadillac Escalade, and they wrapped it hurricane game. So I would take the truck out and just drive it around Hollywood and do all that. But when I went to jail 2004. So when I came home 2005, I'm living with my family in Park Village, around the corner from the Wilmington Arms. And that motherfucker busted every window in that Cadillac Escalade because that game on it.
Is this did you have the black ones like I'm showing right now?
Yeah, I had those too.
The Hurricane.
Yep, I had the white ones with the red on it though.
These are on sale on eBay right now. Let's see how much they cost if you want to get it. Now these are from what year? 04?
Yeah, no, I came home in 05. So yeah, they probably from 05.
Hold on, they sell Hurricane games still?
Yeah, 310 motoring shoes, the game Hurricane size 10, $299.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to my garage. I still got my shoes.
It's a classic.
Yeah,
and
I still got my shoes. So.
And the ones that they got here look very lightly used.
Yeah. I got boots too. They had boots like Timberlands. Nice boots, man. That's what I really like to wear.
But this is not tied into Skechers though, is it?
Yeah, Skechers did that.
Skechers made this?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. 310
okay.
didn't have that. It was a deal with Mark Layler and Mr. Greenberg or Greenwood. I forgot his name, but
I will say though, Skechers and Vans were in the top 10.
oh, okay.
So it wasn't a bad guess by Spider.
Yeah.
But it definitely wasn't top 3. Yeah, these I guess you can consider these classics, even though they're probably not as the appealing shoe to buy.
Yeah, I'm with Munchie. I ain't gonna lie. They didn't have the support in the front. You know, I don't like a shoe that just got a front like that. You know, if you look at Nikes, they got that seam coming across and all that. You know, even the Chuck Taylors. You know, they got the thing in the front. You know what I mean? But these shoes are just, I don't know.
Oh, they're considered vintage now.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
I got some vintage shoes in my garage.
that's why here's some white ones right there. That's why
Skipp, you could throw it on eBay.
they want 110 for these white ones.
Yeah, I might just keep them though, and let my kids see if they worth about 500, 600, 700,000 when I die. So.
No, they ain't never gonna be worth
Ain't gonna
that
be
much.
that
Nah, you might be able to get 1,000 for them black ones like 50 years from now, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So before we wrap this up, Skipp, tell us what's on the horizons. Who's coming to the table? Who are you trying to get to the table? What are the next steps you got going on?
Hold on, and why Munchie get left off the second car mobile? Everybody else picture on there.
Oh man, you wasn't around. Them is all people who work for Second Call, so the ambassadors. And wait, you know what? That's be tripping me out because he's saying this online for everybody to hear, right? He always calls me and asks me stuff about stuff that he's seen. Munchie, you blind, man. How do you call me and tell me that how do you know that you ain't on the side of that the mobile unit? You know what I mean?
Hey, we got to conduct an interview in front of it. You know what I'm saying? Have in the background, get some.
I got to move it. We can't do the interview right where it's
Are you on? Are you on the van?
Yeah, I'm on it. It's a motorhome, so I got a motorhome. But what had happened is I had different. So I was thinking I was gonna paint it or get it wrapped a safety green, like a bright yellow, right? And I said, nah, that's gonna look, preschool kiddish or whatever. So it's all black, but everybody got on their safety green jackets or vest or whatever. So that stands out. And but see, Munchie's an ambassador. So these are actual employees. So I didn't even mention this, but when they told me I had the spots for the ambassadors, once they became ambassadors, they took them from me.
Right.
They took them from me. Off from the jungles, Latanya Ward and Munchie AD. So if they was still with me, we gonna meet every week. We gonna talk about things. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. Whatever. But I think they have meetings like every twice a year or something like that, or 3 times training. So they're not actual employees of Second Call. They work for, and they not employees of the city. They work for community partners.
Right.
So everybody on that RV employed by Second Call.
Do we have any ambassadors over here in Washington Heights, West Adams section?
No. So that would be Tick and them are the Tick and Baby Monster are the interventionists for the West Adams area. But that contract is West Adams is the 30s, the 20s, the 40s. So I'm about to go after that contract. I'm going to do my best to get the GRYD contract and get the agency up out of here that's in that area. But it's going to change everything because I'm not going with the just sit in the office and do nothing now. Well, I'm actually putting people to work. We going to the schools. We going to do life skill classes. We going to do everything we can to change the narrative. You know what I mean? So
Can I get rid of all these homeless people that's outside? It's like 30
that's not
deep.
what interventionists do.
Okay.
So we did have a contract called South of the 10 from Heather Hutt, where we were doing the homeless count, everything south of the 10. So this is north of the 10. So this is Homies Unidos area. So Homies Unidos supposed to be out there getting them. And I saw them, you know, but every time we would talk to somebody, so I started where we just talked about, 24th and Arlington, and going up to Lamert Park, all of La Cienega. So every time we would find somebody's name, call their family, see if we can get them relocated, a lot of them didn't want to go because they was on drugs, not because they don't have good family. We talked to their family, say, oh, we ain't seen them in 4 or 5 years. Well, they out here, they healthy, they alive. And they'd be like, well, tell them to call me. But then after that, the mayor had her own plan, and they would come with the trucks and the police, and they would put all their stuff, you know, in the trash, and now they just out here with nothing but their blanket or whatever they got on. So we wasn't really helping, and I felt like, man, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to sell people hopes and dreams, and they don't even want the hopes and dreams. They just say, can you bring me something to eat? Can you bring me some water tomorrow? Can you? So we would come the next day and bring them whatever they needed, but, you know, they want to get high. So ain't nothing we could do, and that's not intervention, but we did have that contract. But
So how do you get the contract that I guess is from Vernon to here, the 30s, the 40s, and the 20s? How do you get control of that?
I have to apply for it. And like I said, Melvin Hayward and the other people who are now in the GRYD office at City Hall, they have backgrounds. They all know neighborhoods. So they're not going to go for the best. I might not be the best grant writer, but they damn sure know who I got with me and know where I come from. And he was a part of Unity One American. So he know, yeah, Skipp, Rocky, Tick, Monster, they was all doing this work over here. So he know I could do it before they let somebody who, you know, got a PhD who write grants really good, who say, yeah, we Volunteers of America or we're SAI or whatever. Nah, they're not going to let them over here knowing that I'm over here because I could let the dogs loose.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I could, you know.
Well, I hope you get that contract so that we could do some work over here.
Yeah.
All right, so let us know what's going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But what's next right now? I know you're always bringing people to the table.
Yeah, so the only thing that is standing in my way right now is not spoke about. It's the Inglewood 13. You know, so pretty much, and Munchie was there. I had a meeting with damn near everybody in Inglewood at least. Man, the IVC is about 5, 6, 7 deep. Inglewood family is about 5 deep. You know, they both say, oh, we don't want none of that. We ain't even tripping. We don't want no beef or none of that. A couple of CPBs, Crenshaw Mafia. But the Inglewood 13s came to the table and said, man, we thought this was about the kids. If this is about the kids, we with it. If not, we don't know what we could say. You know what I mean? So I think that's the only holdup I have right now with bringing the entire city peace, because the Legends and the Raymonds, they done gave me an award about 2 weeks ago. They like, man, Skipp, we like what you're doing. So they own it too, even though they didn't come to the table. It's just, I think right now, in order for me to get peace in certain areas, it would take that. And then also the 20s and 30s, man, they want to go to each other's park and film and all.
I saw that on Instagram.
That's crazy, man. And as much as we working on peace, y'all don't have to. They don't have to do that, man. That's over with, you know. So I think those are the two things that I'm working on is, you know, there's one little kid from 20s that no matter what I say to him, I ain't going to buy him a chicken dinner. I'll buy him a live chicken, man. You could strangle that. You could whatever. And he just ain't with it. He get high and he go wherever he want to go and do what he want to do. I done offered him a job. I done offered him everything, and he ain't with it.
Yeah. What do you think about the Inglewood stuff, Munchie, all the talks?
Time heal everything, and then, you know, sometimes shit just be too fresh though. Like you said, it was the 106 18s in there, Inglewood Thread Says, IVCs, me and some homies, Quincy. So as far as the I-13s, you know, it's just probably just a little too new, too fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember back in either late 2019 or early 2020, the I-13s was all on board. Mm-hmm. What happened?
It was the homie Donut from I-13, he had brought his son, JoJo. And everybody took pictures. We all in there. We pictures with his son, this and that. And his son got killed in 2021, I think it was. So, and you talking about like that's December of 2019. So 2021, when his son got killed, he was saying, Skipp, it was the he said it was the NHPs, man. They had nice cars, Maseratis, this and that. And it just happened to be on the hood day for Centinela Park family. And they had Maseratis and BMWs and nice cars in the parking lot. So that's where he got the information from. And I said, I promise you, man, they hood day and they ain't doing that. And then somebody from NHP made a song. Talking about that's why we killed JoJo. We drove down the street, seen them, and we...
Wait, they put that in the song?
Put it in the song, man. And the 18th Streets is the ones who gave me the song. Said, Skipp, listen to this. And I'm sitting there listening like, why would you do that? That is crazy. So
Hey, they're implicating themselves.
by implementing this song. Yeah, it was crazy, man. So I lost touch with. I didn't even want to call him after that, because it's like, I know he lost trust from me. But just recently, I've been talking to Lucky from Inglewood 13, and
the same Lucky from 2019.
Yeah, from 2019.
I thought he had to sit down for a minute.
Yeah, he did. He sat
Okay.
down. He just
Okay.
got out. He got the
Okay.
ankle bracelet on.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he was the main voice back
He was
then.
the main voice.
Yeah.
So, he's not the main voice now. However, he called Donut and said, man, Skipp think you hate him. And he said, man, tell Skipp I love him, man. I know he didn't do it. It wasn't his fault or whatever. So at least it's behind his hurt and his pain. So if I can start talking to him and ask him, man, can we get something together? Can we talk so it don't happen to nobody else? You know what I mean? So if I can get his voice, so he could tell everybody, I don't know what y'all gonna do, but don't do it in the name of my son. Don't do it. But then we still but at that time, the families wasn't in it. But then now B-Red is dead. How do I tell his wife? How do I tell his son? You know what I mean? How do I tell the kids that I want to partner with these dudes so we don't have it no more when shit, they just as hurt as the loss of JoJo. You know what I mean?
And what's interesting? All these Inglewood conversations were inspired by the brother from Blackstone, rest in peace, that wanted to make a big deal about, hey, I'm not having any conversations until they stop doing what they doing in Inglewood.
Yes. That's Cass Capone said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, first I was disappointed.
Right.
But
and then people say I'm lying when I say, man, Cass Capone came and all, because eventually they did come to the table. They just didn't come to the table with the 18th Streets.
Correct.
But they came to the table with the bounty hunters. They did that on their own and said, Skipp, open the building. So I opened the building, got them some water, and, y'all cool? Y'all got enough chairs? And I walked out, and they had beef. Dudes and the bounty hunters had names that were disrespectful. That they names start off this and that, pow, and they said, man, we got to stop this. And it was all young bounty hunters. I tipped my hat to them. They was all in their 30s. And, of course, Cass Capone and Bop and them was already 50. Blaster was there.
Shell Dog was there?
Shell Dog came, yeah. So, they had the right people.
No, I went to Cass Capone face to face because Bone from Athens had him working on the show called what's the show with Issa Rae?
Is it Insecure?
Insecure. Mm-hmm. So I went to the set. Cass wasn't there. Bop was there.
Okay.
I said, Bop, you down? I gave him the whole rundown. He said, hey, I'm down if the big homie is down. Mm-hmm. He said, and then that's when they came to your building or your former building.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. And man, we lost both of them.
Yep.
So disappointing because they were the main voices for the Blackstones at that time.
No question.
Yeah.
No question. Yeah.
All right, man. We're gonna wrap this straight politicking. Another episode. Hopefully.
Oh, that's what this is, straight politicking?
Straight politicking.
I thought
man.
this was Rich at Heart or something.
Nah.
No, Rich at Heart is me and Mariah. When it's
and Mariah.
But you did go on a Rich at Heart episode with
him and Mariah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this straight politicking. Another episode in the can. Hopefully we'll get Spider Loke back next week.
Before
Thanks
you
for
do
tapping
that,
in. Yep.
Before you do that, when we talked about that, shout out to Babo, because that's opened all that conversation up. when Babo was the one who decided. And a lot of people give a shout out to the homie Lil Dr. On, and I give him 100% shout out too. But it was actually Babo who said, "Get me somebody."
Yeah.
From East Coast.
And Babo goes tapped in with Petra, right?
Babo tapped in with me, but Petra and Babo stayed on the phone. So it was originally me. There was a dude out of Florencia who said I couldn't come. So I found Babo. It wasn't Petra. I found Babo through Mooney, through Big John. He played baseball with Little League Baseball with a dude. I ain't gonna say his name because he don't want his name out there. But and he brought the phone and showed Babo in prison, and he said, "Oh, I'm with that." Mm-hmm. So I said to Babo, "Petra is here every day," so she got the number and would call him and say, "They writing on the walls. They shot down the street. They did this and did that." So their relationship built and growed to where he said, "You know what? Let me end this. Get me somebody from East Coast." And when she called me, I called the people from the GRYD who get the money. And they say, "Yeah, let me call you back." And they never called back. So she kept telling me, Dr. On, Dr. On. I said, "He ain't ready." But then Dr. On said he wasn't ready. He wasn't doing it. And it took probably about 2 weeks before he finally decided to do it. And that's because he got on the phone with Babo. And Petra put him on the phone with Babo.
Yeah, and I think there was a East Coast named X-Ray that had got killed, and that was part of the delay. I guess he was from First Street, East Coast, and that was part of the delay. But after all of them talks, man, I ended up getting Babo's phone number and would chop it up with him like 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like for
Babo
hours.
would talk. Yeah, Babo could talk.
Hours. I even
He
asked
finds
Babo, I
everything.
said, "Babo, can you do an interview over the phone?" He was like, "Nah, I can't." And for those who don't know, Babo was a Mexican mafia member, not an associate, not a side guy.
I would say more than a member.
Yeah.
More than a member. They're 5 kings. And
3
Babo
kings. It was 3 kings. It's Babo, his brother,
and Topo.
Topo, who you met at the building.
Yeah, I got pictures with Topo.
I never met Topo.
Yeah, I tourist. That's Tablas.
Tablas is Babo's little brother.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So
no, there were 2 other kings too. One was from Harpies. He rest in peace. Remember they did him bad.
you talking about Popeye, Danny Roman.
Yeah. So it was 5 anyway. But Babo was that guy.
Yeah.
That guy. And I don't want to name. I don't want to start naming the people and stuff. But
I had incredible conversations with Babo. I even asked Babo if I could record some of these just for my personal documentation.
Right.
And he said, "Just don't ever put it out."
Right.
So people always want to hear the conversations I had with Babo.
Right.
And unfortunately, out of respect, I can't put those out.
Definitely.
But Babo was such an interesting man to talk to.
Yeah.
History, about how the Florences and the East Coasters was all cool when they was young kids.
Right.
How the
Slawsons too.
The Slawsons.
They was with the Slawsons.
OG Bird from the
Yes.
Slawsons talks about knowing all these Florencia guys. And we're talking about...
Do you know why, though? But see, I didn't know this till recently that Bethune Park was the original Slauson Park.
Yeah.
I always thought Slauson Park was the Pueblos. They renamed that. And they renamed it Bethune Park and then made the Pueblo Park Slauson Park. But it was originally right there, 64th and Hooper.
And I think in the 50s, a lot of blacks used to go to Huntington Park because there was a movie theater. So it wasn't uncommon to go hang out in the 50s to Huntington Park where all the Florences would congregate there too. I don't think no one goes to Huntington Park anymore. Ain't really nothing there.
There's a bowling alley.
I think is there a Chuck E. Cheese over there?
Probably. I know the IHOP and all the Sizzlers and all that stuff. But
all right, man, we could be here for a whole nother hour talking about all this stuff, but we're going to wrap this up. Straight politicking. Thanks for Skipp for pulling up. Tap in with Munchie B, myself. We got all our socials in the show notes below. And I'll also put a link to Skipp if you want to tap in with him on his Instagram. And we out.